You're in Braves country.
Good morning. I guess it's good afternoon, Braves country. Sorry about the delay. We had some technical difficulties, but we got it squared away, and we're coming to you about 4 hours before first pitch, as the Atlanta Braves are going to take on those Washington Nationals. And of course, it is our old nemesis, Steven Strasburg, on the mound today. We're going to get into that here in 1 second. Before we get into that, I do want to go ahead and go over yesterday's game, as it was a good one. It was a great one. Braves get the W 5-3. They jump out early, 3-0. Of course, Ronald Acuna's home run in the second inning made it 4-0. They scored three runs in the first, and they were off and running. Charlie Morton had a little bit of hiccup in the fourth inning, struggled to get through 5, but he got through 5, so he did get the victory. And with all that being said, they now improve to, I want to make sure I've got it exactly right. Improved to 25-26. Wasn't sure of the actual win-loss number, but we are one game behind under 500, which is the number we keep trying to strive to. We can get to 500 tonight with the W. We're still 3.5 behind the Mets. Unfortunately, they won last night. DeGrom looked amazing, and he's doing it against an Arizona team that has been playing absolutely terribly. This is not the same Arizona team that we ran into, which was a buzzsaw that came into Atlanta about a month ago when Mad Bum threw his asterisk no-hitter and Zach Gallen doubled down on us. This is a Diamondbacks team that has been banged up a little bit. In fact, Gallen, I believe, is still on the IL. They're hoping to get him throwing this week, so he might be coming back for Arizona in a few weeks. But this is a Mets team that is playing really well. They've won 5 in a row now, 6 of their last 10. Atlanta has hung in there. They're 3.5 behind the Mets, and they will now be 5 in. The Phillies are now 5 behind the Mets, so the Braves have a 1.5 game lead on the Phillies, a 1.5 game lead on the Marlins, and now have a 3.5 game lead on the Washington Nationals. So if they can get a W today, they can continue to bury the Nationals, which I think is key, because the Nationals still have a pesky team. They still have a team that can get out there and put runs on. And I believe when this offense gets all the way healthy in Washington and the pitching staff comes to, Washington's going to be a tough out. Remember, in 2019, they were playing terrible baseball, and then they caught fire after the All-Star break. And so you want to bury Washington while you have a chance, and today will be a key game. Looking at today's matchup, the Atlanta Braves are going to face Washington today in Truist Park. Once again, they are going to, or is it 7:20 first pitch, Strasburg, and we'll have Max Fried on the mound. So should be a tightly contested game. Should be a game that's going to come down to who can get to the other guy's starter, right? And so the key matchup of this game is obviously going to be which team can work the other guy's pitch count, can get him out of the game early to get to the bullpen. We know that the Braves have a good back end of their bullpen. When you're talking about Chris Martin, you're talking about Will Smith, and even Mentor and some of the other guys, they put up pretty good performances normally. But if you can get to the Braves bullpen in the 5th, 6th inning, like a lot of teams, you're going to struggle. So Atlanta is hoping to get to the Washington bullpen, which struggles mightily, to get Strasburg out of his rhythm early, and hopefully they can get that rolling. Real quick thoughts on yesterday's game, by the way. We did see the debut. Well, it's not his major league debut, but it was his Atlanta Braves debut of Almonte. Almonte drew 2 walks. I thought he put up pretty good at bats. Heredia once again got a base hit. I still feel like hitting 291. He's way too low in the lineup, but we won't beat on that drum today. Ozzie Albies and Freddie Freeman went 0-4s. They did draw a couple of walks, but you like that. So at least they're finding a way to get on base. And of course, ACUNA had the home run where he just absolutely demolished the ball over the right center field wall. If you missed that, but what you don't like, all in all, your 2, 3, 4 hitters went 0-4-10. And you can't have that. You got to be able to start getting more production up top and let it bleed through the entire lineup. Today, you're going to have a tough righty on the mound. We'll see if they go with Contreras behind the plate. I would think at this point, Contreras is going to get most of the starts, but you notice when they first brought him up, he was playing about every other day, and then it went to about every 2 to 3 or 2 out of every 3 days. I think you're going to start seeing it more where he's going to be 3 out of every 4 days, possibly even 4 out of every 5, as they want to get him more and more into what's going on with that team. Fried's going to be on the mound. I expect Fried to do more Fried type things than what he's done. Look, this year's been up and down for him, but recently he's been pretty darn good. And so, with that being said, looking at Fried, last time out, and I get it. It was against Pittsburgh. You can't exactly jump up and scream about that, but he did go 7 innings. Only struck out 2. You're a little worried about that, but 7 innings, 1 earned run ball. Granted, it was against the Pirates. That's not exactly the 27 Yankees that he's going against over there. But looking at his game log for this year, we have Max Fried going out and utterly, since about, we'll take it back to, I guess since about, we'll say mid-May, he's pitched pretty darn good. Okay. Outside of that, I would say that Max Fried going forward, for all intents and purposes, is our ace. And if he's our ace, he's got to go up against their ace, which is Strasburg. At this point, you could say Strasburg, you could say Scherzer. I would tend to think in a big situation, considering what Strasburg did in the playoffs and in the World Series in 2019, I think he is their ace. So it's basically ace versus ace. And looking at what he's going to be able to do on the field, head to head with the opposing team's ace, this is a game where you expect Max Fried to really step up. This is a game where you expect Max Fried to dominate, to go out there, give you 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs or less. That's what you're looking for. You're looking, a quality start is 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less, right? I want to see more than that. I want to see better than that. I don't want to see, my ace does not need to be going 5 innings, 3 earned runs. Because at that point, you're putting way too much pressure on your offense. So I do believe that it is a situation where you're going to have to go out there and have Max Fried dominate from the jump. The offense needs to get some offense going, get some runs going, get some early runs, take some pressure off of Max Fried, take some pressure off of him. When you look at, the games that he has been able to go out there and perform well, it's usually that he's come out the gate well. Max Fried has this issue that a lot of great pitchers do have. Sometimes they are not pitching the best at the beginning of a game, and they've got to find their way to fight through that to make sure that that they still keep their team in the game. So right now, what we're looking at with Max Fried is give us 6 solid innings, 2 earned runs or less. And then if we can get a 7th, we'll take it. But you got to get us those 6 innings, because it becomes crucial, because we don't know when any of these other pitchers are going to come back. It was moved to the 60-day DL. So with him being moved to the 60-day DL, we knew it already, but it just goes ahead and cements the fact that we won't see Inoa come back until well after the All-Star break. There's still hope that Soroka could come back. It's not much of a chance, but there is a chance. And then, of course, Ian Anderson has to pitch better than what he did his last time out. You got to start getting much better performances, much more consistency out of Drew Smyly. You didn't sign Drew Smyly to a 1-year, $11 million deal to go out there, and sometimes he pitches well against the Pirates, and sometimes he just lays an egg and he can't get out of the 4th inning. You can't have that. I would also say that we'll probably see Tucker Davidson in the very near future. This is obviously last week there were a lot of days off, so they skipped him in the rotation. But I would tend to think we'll probably see him this weekend. I'll tell you one thing: he definitely deserves it. The performance he put out when he made his debut this year, he absolutely deserves at least another chance out there on the mound. But for all intents and purposes, what Charlie Morton did yesterday was, you can live with it. We got the win. But honestly, 5 innings, 3 earned runs, that's not the Charlie Morton that we're expecting. We expect him to go out there and get 6, if not 7 innings. I said this at the beginning of the year, that I felt like expecting him to go much deeper than 6 innings is a wishing well, because Charlie Morton, his entire career, has been a guy that usually labors to get through 6 innings. And it usually has to do with the fact that he lives around the zone. He doesn't necessarily live in the zone. And so he will get high pitch counts. But if you can have 6 solid innings, you can live with that. I believe the Frieds and the Andersons, they can give you 7. You never expect 8 or 9 nowadays from a guy. 7 is phenomenal. Anything deeper, you're jumping up for joy and riding on sunshine, right? But that's what we're looking at tonight. Get the freaking Nationals, knock Strasburg out of the game, get to their bullpen, let Fried do his thing. The Braves should have a very good chance of pulling out the W tonight. The Braves, for whatever reason, have usually hit Strasburg really well, especially in Atlanta. He does not like to pitch in the humidity. Now, I looked at the weather today. It's only going to be around mid-80s today. Not a really high humidity, but it could be a little warm for him. Remember, he's a California kid, so I guess he just doesn't like the humidity. So if you're going out there to the game today, we're looking for just soup type weather, right? I remember being at Strasburg's first game in Atlanta years and years ago. I'm pretty sure it was against Tim Hudson. And this is after Strasburg had already had his major league debut. He was debuting in Atlanta for the first time, and he was a big thing. Everyone was on, and we roasted him. He does not pitch well in the heat. I wish it was a little hotter today, but hey, I think in the 80s could bother them. Atlanta, my prediction, Atlanta gets 6 on the board today, and we win it 6-2. We will see you tomorrow. I plan to be dropping Braves Country today much earlier. I'm expecting it to be around the 10 a.m. Eastern is when I normally shoot for. These last couple of days have been a little hectic, but we will get back to it. And also remember, reminder, we're here every single weekday, Monday through Friday. We usually drop about 10 a.m. Eastern here on Braves Country today. And so we just do this quick little bit about what happened the night before and what's going to happen today. And then also catch the Armchair Quarterbacks show live on YouTube. All of it's all here on the same channel. We're here 8:30 in the morning Eastern, and we're usually on for about an hour. We're picked up by some CBS Sports affiliates throughout the country, but you can catch us on YouTube live. Wednesday, I'll have Sean O'Toole with us, and we are going to be talking a lot of everything in sports. The Armchair Quarterbacks live show, we do everything in the world of sports. This is obviously is specifically for Braves Country. Let's go get a damn win. We'll see you tomorrow. I hope the chop is just rocking and rolling. The first thing that we need going on today when we get Strasburg on the ropes in the early innings, get that chop going. And we'll see you tomorrow.
You're in Braves Country.